welcome back to another episode of Legendary Sports Podcast. I am one of the hosts.
Nah, you are the host, man. You are the host. Let it be known. Jared Michelson.
That's right, Jared Michelson, eating the fruits of my victory. For our bet, so.
Hey, guys, he couldn't wait to get on. He was supposed to.
I was supposed to save some, but
yeah,
the
I was gonna eat on camera if it was me, but it wasn't me.
The nuggets were too good, so I had to devour them. But you guys can still bask in my ambiance because I'm still glowing. So, but anywho, so the camera angle probably looks a little bit different to you guys. We are testing out some a GoPro and stuff like that, so we're getting some new equipment and everything, trying to see how that works. Just playing around with that setting. So, yeah, more to come, more changes to come, and everything like that. So, let's get into some football, though. And we can even talk about some Thursday games. We can talk about today's game, recap all that good stuff.
Well, let's talk about the Thursday game, and let's talk about my Seattle Seahawks boys to start us off, right?
You want to start with that? Okay.
Yeah, I just gotta get something off my chest, football and fantasy football related. Geno Smith is not the guy. He's writing a lot of letters back to people. And it's just you guys know my trusty Palm Pilot here. I gotta love this thing. This thing keeps me laced up with all of my latest. But he's just not it, man. I mean, this Seattle Seahawks team, just imagine like we're doing it with him, right? And we're 6-5. I think with a different quarterback. Even with Russ, even though you don't like Russ, even if we had Russ, I think we could easily be 8-3 or 9-2 at this moment. In big games, he just don't show up, man. I mean, 18 for 27, 180 yards and an interception, and then everyone's gonna say, "Well, he was injured. He was injured." If you're injured, don't play. You slang it 27 times. Like, come on, man. Like, this is just bad. I mean, and then you got DK Metcalf out here who is, in my mind, should be equal to or greater than A.J. Brown with the type of skills he possesses. He's faster. He's bigger, stronger. His routes are about the same as A.J. Brown's, right? It's just that one, Geno isn't getting it to him. And two, DK needs somebody who can kind of reel in his craziness in his head that he's always wanting to fight somebody. That's why Russell Wilson was so good for him, because he was so mild-mannered, and at least, DK had a little bit of respect for him. As you guys can see, the numbers were up when Russell was there, and now is this his numbers is just down, and it's just like, Jesus, man. So I just wanted to go there and get that off my chest, seeing that I am a Seattle Seahawks fan. I guess I could flip to the other side. Guess I could flip to the other side where Brock Purdy was just slicing and dicing, didn't do too much killing through the air, but he didn't really need to. He was 21 of 30, 209 yards, a touchdown and an interception. But this one goes to none other than your boy, CMC. 19 carries, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Debo got one on the ground. Ayuk got one in the air. I mean, this San Francisco team is legit. Regular.
So it's crazy. Talking about San Francisco, they weren't legit for 3 games. It was 3 games were the ones that Debo was out. Is Debo that big of a factor to really change the dynamic of this offense?
You know what? I don't think it's just Debo. It's also Trent Williams. When you ain't gotta worry about somebody smoking you from your backside, right? Like,
was he out those games too?
Yeah, Trent Williams was out 3 games as well. I'm not one who's ever played quarterback. I'm not one who's ever, known what it's like to get hit blindside like that from the back. Pause. But I know it hurts, and I know it's in your brain lingering. I mean, like, look at Joe Burrow, early on when he couldn't even move with his calf So I think that does change a little bit of it. I think also that Debo is such a game changer for them and a big piece for them that he moves the backers. Right? And the game
He's a guy that goes in motion a lot. He's all over the field. He's kind of Tyreek Hill-esque, where they use him everywhere, and he's very successful all over the back out of the backfield or as a wide receiver. So I get it.
You know, he's the reason why he's such a big piece to them and so dynamic, right? He allows Ayuk to get those one-on-one coverages. He allows George Kittles to get one-on-one coverage, you know, and himself sometimes to get one-on-one coverage, and Christian McCaffrey to get one-on-one. If you can only double one. You can't double both.
Yeah.
Right? And then so when you start to roll the coverage over to Brandon Ayuk because he's been killing you, here comes Debo. Then when you roll it to Debo, here comes George Kittle. Then when you roll it to George Kittle, here comes Debo back in motion, and then the backers are moving with Debo on the jet sweep, but it's actually Christian McCaffrey up the middle. You know, like they just have so much going.
They do. They're very high powered, and that's where I was kind of curious and asking about the Debo effect because, again, their high power turned off for a few games. I know Trent Williams was. I don't know if they're the same games or not.
The exact same games.
So I know that could be a factor too. But like the passing game has elevated even beyond just Trent Williams being out. That's why I wonder how much Debo also opens that field, as you said. You know, being in motion, pulling safeties over, and like having them, you know, opening up lanes for Kittle and everything else on the backside of the play. Like that's a huge difference, man. We have a guy that can do that, you know, and can't just focus on McCaffrey, like. You know.
Yeah, when they don't got all that window dressing going on and confusion at the line of scrimmage, and it's a little different, right? Yeah. So I think Debo, in that sense of making everybody look and look at fool's gold, I think that's why he's such a big part of their offense. Because I mean, was Jennings? Jawan Jennings ain't doing that, right?
No. They try to use him as a substitute whenever Debo's gone, but it doesn't always work that way.
Jawan Jennings ain't doing that. Brandon Ayuk's not doing that.
True. Yeah. He's just a true receiver. So, you know who's supposed to be a true receiver but really not? Terry McLaurin. They just got blown out by the boys Thursday night.
Sam Howell was who we thought he was.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Thursday afternoon. The Seahawks had the night game.
Yeah, that's right. Seahawks had the
Sam Howell is who we thought he was.
Well, man, Sam Howell is going to be a good baller. He's still developing, still learning, but he's done well for what he's done so far this season. He's able to get Curtis Samuel alive for 104 or whatever it is. So he's able to get people alive. And the Cowboys defense is for real, right? Like even without Trayvon Diggs, like they're still a very good defense. And they have been crushing everybody at home. So there's some crazy stats for like their home stats. I'm trying to think if I can remember. If I do throughout the episode, I'll just jump in there and blurb them out. But yeah, this game in particular, there was not a lot for the Commanders to hang their hat on. You know, other than I think it was Brian Robinson that scored a touchdown on the pass, and that was about it. I think that's who it was that scored it, right? No, Sam Howell rushed it in. Excuse me. But for the Cowboys side, oh man. You got activity from Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, and then I think it was Turpin who got a touchdown. My goodness. That's a shock. But not a shock because he's so fast. I know he's not a true like receiver yet, but that man is like low 4.3, 4.2 something fast. Like it's something surreal. But man, Dak has been able to get people feasting. I think the last 2 games that he's had.
Excuse me. Thank you.
33, 37, 44, and like 30 something again or 40 something again this last week. I think. Like that's surreal.
Dakota has been lighting it up. I'll tell you this though.
Touchdowns for Dak.
I'll tell you this. I thought that the Commanders would come out and do something different. I actually started their defense. And I thought that they would get up for this Cowboys team.
I looked before though, and they got stomped out earlier though when they played them the first time around.
Yeah, but they played the Eagles tough twice.
Yeah, but the Eagles' defense isn't, how do I say, as good as people think they are. I don't think their secondary is an elite level. Like Darius Slay is a good corner, but I don't think their safeties or anything to like, whoa, right home about. Like people be putting up numbers against the Eagles. They just put up enough to win. Like that's what they're doing. They're just putting up enough to win. You know, they were competitive with like Washington was competitive against them actually.
Twice.
So that's why I don't think the Eagles are, you know, like all around team. Where I think Dallas.
So explain. What's the difference between Dallas and the Eagles?
Defense, hands down.
Well,
pass rush.
Well, why?
Turnover.
Well, then why didn't the Dallas Cowboys beat the Eagles?
Because the offense for the Eagles is superior.
So I just asked you, what's the difference?
There's two differences.
Well, you only left it at one at first. So the Eagles' offense is better.
Yeah.
But their defense is worse.
Yes, absolutely worse. You don't think that the Eagles' defense is worse? But because think about it this way. They played the same teams twice, right? They both played the Commanders twice. How did the Washington do against the Eagles versus how they did against the Cowboys? Who they perform better against?
The Eagles.
Okay. That shows that their defense is worse.
Do you think defense wins championships?
Yes. Ask Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos that year when they carried him. Yes, I absolutely.
I like Peyton Manning, but I would have rather my Seahawk boys get another one.
Yeah, they literally, even Peyton said they carried him to that champ, so yes.
So,
absolutely.
okay, so if that's the case, then the Dallas Cowboys should be beating the Philadelphia Eagles.
It should be.
They're going to beat them when they play next?
I think this could be, if they don't pick up in the secondary, I think they could. I think Dallas is cooking more than when they played them the first time, because they were more competitive the second time around when they played the Eagles. And I think that they will, if their defense can stay up the way that it is, I think that they can challenge the Eagles, especially if we have turnover hurts. So I think that's possible.
Oh, man. Banking on turnover hurts is a lot.
Yeah, he's usually pretty efficient, but this Dallas defense will get at him. So even with his rushing ability, Micah Parsons is different.
We'll see.
Parsons run like a 4-3.
Says somebody who didn't even record a tackle last week.
Doesn't mean he's not putting pressure on.
Pressure schmesher.
Pressure makes it. Okay, you let him rub in your face as you try to throw the football. You let me know how you do.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that one, right? Remember I talked about getting beat up from your blind side?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But I tell you who be getting beat up from their blind side, and they got beat up a lot this past week, and that was your boy, Jared Goff. 3 fumbles lost, man.
My boy, you're the one that's got him in so many leagues. I don't have him. Not the best of no Goff this year.
Man, you know what? It's crazy.
I like Goff, but
it's crazy to me, man. So the year that Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl, I picked him up the next year. He was awful. He stunk. Right? And so I was off the Jared Goff train. And then last year, the last 6 games or whatever that they went on that tear, I was like, oh man, Jared Goff's putting up numbers, fantasy numbers for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna get Jared Goff.
And again, to be fair, he would have this week if it wasn't for 3 fumbles. In our league, that's 9 points of loss.
Exactly. 9 points down that I'm in a league where he needs to hold on to the ball.
Well, it's a big difference.
He needs to hold on to that ball and savor it. We need those points.
Or is the problem that he is holding the ball and the pass rush is getting at him because he's not throwing in a timely manner? People don't ever think about that. Sometimes you're holding the ball too long and let that pass rush get to you. Now they're swiping the ball out of your hands because you're sitting there doing the Statue of Liberty play, not throwing the ball.
All I know is Jared Goff need to hold on to the ball. He's got 6 turnovers in 2 weeks. He's leading the league in turnovers right now, and it's not good. I mean,
I
he's
told you when one happens, three happens.
man, good night. He is 29 for 44, 332, and 2 TDs. He put that ball out there, spread it around. 90 yards for Khalif Raymond.
Again, if you could change maybe even one of those turnovers into a score, I think they basically win this game, or at least they take it to overtime, right? Like,
Or even punt.
Yeah.
Right? This split backfield, man, I wish you wouldn't have talked me out of it, because this is the best split backfield I've seen in years.
You just throwing that at me, huh?
Yeah, you talked me off of David Montgomery, man. I love David Montgomery. And he's been a great fantasy.
Montgomery. I just didn't like the situation with split. I still don't like the split. I mean, they're a good backfield and everything, but someone's going to suffer one of these weeks.
Jahmyr Gibbs, if 11 for 54 is suffering, I'm taking it.
He scored though, right?
No.
Oh.
And he's
What good does that do you in a PPR league?
11 points for 11 rushes.
Well,
no. Yeah.
So it's how many yards did he have? How many receptions did he have? And then to go along with the rush yards. Yeah.
I mean, he's serviceable. He probably had about.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not fourth round serviceable. If you're splitting the backfield and that's what you're getting, that's like 6th, 7th round serviceable.
What about What about David Montgomery, 15 for 71 and a touchdown?
David Montgomery. Now, if you're flipping that around and you drafted Montgomery instead of Gibbs, I would be a little bit like, yeah, you got a great value because he was the 6th, 7th round, even some leagues later, and you're probably getting like 3rd round value out of him. So I would say I will take the L on that one. I will give you that one.
So, somebody tried to trade me Jordan Love in one of my leagues, and you know what I told him?
What's that?
I said, hell no. You know why?
He's a GOAT, though.
I said there is no love in Jordan right now.
Got Christian Watson 20 fantasy points in PPR leagues this week.
Man, he went crazy. 22 of 32, 268, and 3 TDs. He went crazy, man.
Question is, where's he been for most of the season?
You think the game's starting to slow down for him?
I hope so. I mean, he was a pretty highly touted draft pick, so I would hope that he would be able to acclimate at least relatively quick to his. I think it's his 3rd year in the NFL now. So,
I mean, they're not too.
4th, right?
They're not too far out of it. 5 and 6.
I don't know if the Vikings cook and cook up a little bit.
The division lead,
open.
yes.
It's still open. I will give you that. It's still open for as far as playoff opportunity and stuff like that. So I can't argue that. Because again, nobody's really way up there. I mean, what is the record for the Lions now?
The Lions are 8-3 now.
So it'd be hard to catch them if they just gotta maintain. If they go like 2-1 and whatever the case may be.
No. They're not getting a division. I don't think that they're getting a division.
The Lions?
Yeah. Oh no. Green Bay.
That's what I'm saying. Like they'll be up there, but I don't know if that matters given the records of the other NFC teams. I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think they're gonna be like playoff bound by any means.
Do you think that the Green Bay Packers end up with a better record than the Chicago Bears?
Jordan Love's got more experience. I wouldn't say it's hard to say if he has better weapons because I would say I actually give Fields. That's tough. Because there's Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, Khalil Herbert, who's back now. Deontay Foreman actually was serviceable, but those are the only weapons that he really has. I don't know about Mooney. I don't trust. He's never involved ever. So, but then Jordan Love only has Christian Watson, Jalen Reed. Sometimes Romeo Dubs every once in a while. But then A.J. Dillon's been the main back for the year because Aaron Jones is always hurt. And he's just kind of he had one of his better games this last week, but he's still kind of a plotter right now.
It's true.
And they have no tight end because Hargrave or whatever got hurt. So.
Bill Hargraves?
I forget what his actual first name
I don't know what his name is.
I don't know
It's
either,
called him Bill.
Luke, I think it is maybe. But yeah, so they don't really have, neither one of them have a lot of quality, but I think the Bears have just slightly better quality for weapons. I mean, this is like just slightly.
So you going with the Bears over the Green Bay Packers?
Not for the rest of the season. I'm just talking about the weapons and stuff like that. But I think quarterback play. Fields is a great fantasy quarterback and a good life quarterback, but I think Jordan Love is a better life quarterback, a better thrower. And that's what'll keep them ahead.
Fair. That's fair.
So, chat it up a little bit about tonight.
Talk about your savior. You got it. Talk about your savior. Talk about fantasy. Talk about yeah. Okay, there you go. I like that.
But my legend on my team, however, is definitely Tyreek Hill, who again carried the squad for another 100 yards. It was like 104 yards, touchdown, 9 catches, just a regular
day at the office, right?
Yeah,
this dude is killing. If he's not league
hurt and came back. He rolled. His ankle got rolled pretty good, and he came right back. He's like, man, I'm gonna go for another 60. I'm not done. I want the 2,000-yard season.
If he's not the league MVP, he's definitely got my vote for fantasy
I
MVP.
That quarterback thing, because yes, you are throwing the ball, but if they're not getting open, who are you throwing to? Like, he could easily just be a guy that's always locked down in coverage, right? And then you don't have those numbers because he's the reason that a lot of these quarterbacks get those numbers because he's always open, he's always available, right? Like him and Cooper Kupp are two guys. Like I feel like they both got snubbed on their years because they're guys that were always open and always available. And if you go for 2,000 records, you break a record that will probably not be broken for another however many decades.
Till your son gets there.
Yeah, what's that?
Till your son gets in the NFL.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Even then, I'm like, bro, you need to go play. You need to play defense or something.
Save that head.
Yeah, exactly. But he cooked, man. And then Raheem Mostert, though, I think he had 94 yards, and 2 touchdowns today. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't because I need Jake to lose the batch that he's in, so I can go for first place. So Raheem Mostert, that garbage time touchdown when you're already up, a waste. Gosh darn it! I don't know why you got that, but you did. And then your boy Jeff Wilson actually scored involved today. So
did he?
Yeah, I believe he did, right? I lied. He did not. I thought he got in the end zone.
Hey, I tell you one thing. Those of you who had Devon Achane, I'm sorry. He was great for 2 games, and you might as well drop him and try to go find something else.
I don't know why I thought Jeff Wilson scored.
What game were you watching?
I don't really know. He was doing work, so I thought he got in on one of those rushes, but maybe I was tripping. Definitely was tripping. He didn't score, but he did rush for 11 for 56, so good for him.
Well, Tyreek has definitely been your guy for fantasy. Tyreek Hill.
Pull the screen closer here. Yeah, Tyreek Hill was good. Jalen Waddle was involved today, though. He had 114. 8 receptions, so coming alive. I think he's coming alive the last couple of weeks, but or 2 out of 3 for the last.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Why you don't think Waddle's gonna be good?
No, I think he is. I just don't think he's gonna be that good until next year. He got some stuff that he still needs to iron out and prove to me because he's like a disappearing act.
Yeah, 2 out of the last 4 weeks. He had 3 weeks ago. He had 121. In a score. This week he had 114 no score, and then some mediums in between. Nothing that like you're gonna be sad about for a 6 for 42 and 8 for 55. But I mean that's his lows though. If his lows are starting to become like 10 points a game, that's not so bad. In PPR formats, of course. But hey man, I'm happy to see that Tua's cooking, and man, it's. What a high-powered offense. Like, when they are good, they're good, but there are some of those weeks where it's like, man, so they made a comment today that it's a timing-based offense. And if that timing is off, you've seen kind of the downside of the offense. Like, Tua throwing 3 picks, and fumbling the ball.
That's rare though. That's Jared Goff's cup of tea.
Hey, Tua can do it too, though. It's not as you're right. It's actually pretty rare for Goff to throw 3 picks, isn't it?
Yeah, dude was like leading the league in like fewest picks for like the last whatever amount of games, but he just be giving it away now, turning it over like hotcakes.
You know who turns life over? The Jets. My goodness, they are bad. They have no good quarterback on their team. Boyle was nobody. He had 179 and a touchdown, 2 interceptions on his own. It was just, what is happening? Also, you say that Tua doesn't turn it over very often, but he had 2 picks himself. So
Tua.
And they were like their picks were within like 2 of the picks, the one for Miami and the one for the Jets, were like seconds of each other. That was so wild. That the end of the half with the pick 6 to cap it all off, that was crazy too. Whether it's sequence for 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. But the one thing that Boyle did do is he did get Garrett Wilson involved, at least in garbage time. Garbage time still counts. 7 for 44 with a touchdown, so about 17 points out of 17.4 for Garrett Wilson. So at least there was somebody that came alive. I saw you picked up Conklin. At least he didn't kill you. He got you like 7.3 points, so that's good.
So
Did you start him?
I did not. I didn't start Garrett Wilson either. Guess who I started?
Who?
Gus the Bus.
That's better.
You think so? Because
2 touchdown Gus?
Because 17 points is sitting on my bench. I hope Gus Edwards can come and do work.
I don't know. Gus got me like 20 something with the 2 touchdowns and the yards he had last week. I think it was like 21. So I would say Gus the Bus. Gus the Bus.
Gus the Bus. Yep. Gus the Bus.
Because that's why Lamar's not doing hot as far as like a fantasy production, because Gus is taking all the rushing touchdown when they're in the 5.
With non-fantasy production too. Let's get that straight. Yeah. He's terrible.
I think I recall like Cash being a good life quarterback and doing a real life.
Yeah, because he manages. Because he manages the game, like.
Got a bad attitude.
Oh man.
Change that tone.
Man.
So who do you think is going to carry teams the rest of the way? The rest of this week, I should say. Who's going to be a stud this week that you can count on to start in your fantasy lineups? We'll start with like a receiver and a running back and a receiver. Just kind of see who you think is going to turn up this week, giving state of the matchups here.
I think that
especially with all the injuries and like young quarterbacks that are playing right now.
I think the New York Giants defense and I think the New England Patriots defense is something to start. Yeah, I know you said wide receivers and stuff like that, but I think those 2 defenses, especially going against each other, their quarterbacks not being so great, their all-around talent and offense not being so great, being able to stack the box against Saquon, I think will help both defense, or not both defenses, but the New England Patriots defense to stack the box against Saquon, and then just live with whatever Danny DeVito, or if
Danny DeVito.
What's his name? What's his name? I called him Danny DeVito.
Something like that, but I don't think it's Danny.
Is his last name DeVito though?
Yeah, but that's his first name's Danny.
Danny DeVito. Well, I was thinking about Danny Dine, Daniel Jones, Danny DeVito. It doesn't matter if Daniel Jones or Daniel DeVito, whatever his name is, man. It doesn't matter who starts for them at quarterback. They stink, and I think that these defenses together will have some great. I assume about 4 turnovers. Not each. Between the 2. Between the 2, I think there'll be about 4 turnovers.
Start either defense in this matchup, and both of them will have good fantasy points.
Yes. Just like the Miami Dolphins.
That's such a rare thing to think, because usually like one dominates the fantasy points over the other, because obviously usually someone's winning, right? So.
Yeah, no. I think they both have a really good. I think they both have a really good opportunity to do some stuff here. And here's one thing: the New York Giants defense is actually pretty decent.
They're good at stopping the run.
Yeah. And that's all you got to do because Mac Jones isn't building anything.
They're stopping the thing that New England doesn't have anyway. So they just wasted the time.
And what's New England Patriots record?
Oh, let's look it up. 2-8 and 3-8 for each team here.
So if they don't run the ball well as is, and you only got 2 wins because they're quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. What I'm saying is one of the defenses has to be outshining the other. My question is or my thought is, I think because at home that the Giants defense will be slightly better, probably have the edge in points over the New England defense.
I don't know. I'm willing to. I mean, if you want to make a wager, and I was gonna actually, I thought you were gonna wager on the Chicago Bears having a better season than the Packers, and I wanted to take my bet back, but you didn't. No, I think I might be willing to take the New England Patriots
because this one's overall points. Whoever has more overall points at the end of this week is the winner. The defense is the winner, right? So I put my bet on the Giants defense having more overall points at the end of this matchup than the New England Patriots.
I put a bet on that too. What you want to bet?
Dinner again, man. I'm trying to eat for free.
Dinner. Hey, he loved.
I'm trying to eat for free, man.
He loved that dinner. Y'all should have seen him. Y'all should have seen him. Yeah, Yachty goes, you guys should do a mukbang. And he was just like, mukbang? What's that? As he's stuffing his face, he's like, he ate fries, and he doesn't even like fries.
No, but I like the meal, and I like victory. So
It tastes better. It tastes better, huh?
It tastes better when I'm winning.
Yeah, sweet victory. All right, I'd rather have. It's gonna come back to my fortunes.
Straight wins, man. Hopefully going for 8, so we'll see.
Nah, man, that's terrible. Who about you? Give me somebody.
As far as a player,
and
I think Dell's gonna have a good week this week.
Who?
Dell.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're playing Jacksonville, if I'm correct.
I played him last week, and he tore me apart.
Yeah, man, he's been cooking. It's like 20 points, 20 points, 20 points. Like, he's just out here, man. And he's a tiny guy, but he knows how to get into the defense. He's like what Darren Sproles is at the line, where he was like sneak behind the line, running backs or the offensive lineman, just sneak behind him, and then boom, there he be. You know, that's what Tank Dell does. He just gets behind the secondary, just creeps around, and then he's open downfield. 6. So I don't think Dell's going to be a guy. I'm actually confident in now this is not like a sleeper or anything, but I'm confidently playing, even though Falcons have a decent run defense, Kamara, because he catches so many passes out of the dump downs. Like, he might only get 30 yards, but he gets 8 catches. So I will take that. That's 11 points in dump offs, and I will absolutely take that to the bank. A tight end. Trent McBride. So for the Arizona Cardinals, that's somebody too.
I was going with a tight end too. I was going to say Evan Ingram.
Oh, you're going back to the Jacksonville game.
Yeah, I think Evan Ingram kind of finds his footing versus this defense.
They're bad against tight ends.
Yeah. And I think he finds his footing, and I think he does something. Not only do I think he do something big in that game, I really hope he does, just because I don't have Mark Andrews anymore, so I kind of have to bank on him to do something.
Did you pick up Isaiah Likely in any leagues?
I did pick up Isaiah Likely in a couple different leagues, actually.
How likely are you to start him?
Not very likely. Not very likely. I don't trust Lamar Jackson throwing the football. I don't trust Lamar Jackson throwing the football, man. And that is just how I feel about that. And
So you don't think it's going to be a shootout game tonight, or the Sunday night game with the Ravens and the Chargers?
No.
Really? I actually am starting Lamar Jackson with confidence, because I don't have. Chargers defense is not good. They have a lot of talent, and they get sacks, but they cannot, they have a hard time, I want to say, although they might get 5 sacks, they don't get the turnovers that they need enough to sustain the game to really turn the tides for stuff. So I don't think they have it in them, and that's why they lose close games to medium teams, because they just don't have that factor in them. So I have faith that Lamar and them could have one of those good passing games. A 3 touchdown passing game for Lamar, 250 yards, and then like 50 yards on the ground. That's the type of game I see against the Chargers because they allow those games.
I'm not sold on the Chargers, right? I don't like the
That's
Chargers.
why. That's what I'm
I don't
saying.
like the Chargers either. I don't really like them. I just don't see it being a shootout. I just see that
I said
the
slanging.
I think that the Ravens just gonna go out there and just run the ball right down their throat. Joey Bosa's out too, I believe.
Oh really? Good.
Yeah, again.
Bad for him. He could be a super stallion if he can stay on the field.
Man, tell me about it. And that defense, man, the defense is the craziest thing for the Chargers is
Such good people.
they have the highest paid payroll on defense in the
They
league.
have such good people. They still got Khalil Mack. They still got Derwin James. They still got Asante Samuel Jr. Like, they have good people on their defense.
Joey Bosa went healthy,
Yeah.
and they just can't seem to get it done.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I think that the Ravens just run the ball all over them. I don't think that there's anything else that's going to come from it except for.
You don't think, I know the Ravens have a good defense, and I'm actually starting the defense against the Chargers because I feel like they'll still give me at least 10 points off sacks because Justin Herbert can't stay upright. That being said, do you not think they have a good enough offense to at least make it competitive as far as the Chargers side of the ball? With Keenan Allen out there, obviously Austin Eckler. Hopefully Quentin Johnson comes and figures it out a little bit, but Perham has actually been a decent tight end when needed and called upon. So, do you think that they have enough to kind of move the ball?
Not against this Ravens defense. This Ravens defense is for real. The only reason why I don't like the Ravens, to represent the AFC and go to the AFC championship game, because we talked about this and said, who was it? Actually, I think I might have picked them to go. I can't remember.
I thought after the Burrow stuff that we had picked them.
This was before the Burrow stuff. So I actually
Miami.
did.
No, we talked about Miami.
Miami. And the reason why that it was Miami is because I don't think that Lamar Jackson can throw when it matters. He can't throw when it matters, and it's hard to throw when it matters, especially Arrowhead's no place. It's not nice.
If they're
it's
over
cold.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold, and it's hard to hear. Right, it's hard to get the calls off. It's hard to hear the plays. So it makes it even more challenging to have 12 man or whatever. So I agree.
A person that I think needs to step up this week, and kind of own a game.
This is a good topic. Like, who are you gonna disown if they don't finally step up?
Josh Jacobs, man.
I agree.
Josh Jacobs. I mean, this dude was a stud last year, and it amazes me on how people have these crazy fantasy years, and then I pick them, and then they just be
But
trash.
There's change on that team though, because even Devontae Adams suffered this year after having a good year with Derek Carr, and then guess who comes in?
Jimmy G.
The offense has tanked ever since.
I mean, he just doesn't even look close to the guy he was last year.
But Devontae Adams doesn't even look close, and he's 10 times better than Josh Jacobs, given as an overall talent.
Well, but we see Devontae Adams running wide open downfields though.
Devontae Adams, yes, but Devontae Adams doesn't require an offensive line that's also terrible to get him open and make lanes for him. Because Josh Jacobs can't do anything if everybody's already in the backfield before the ball is even handed out.
Man, he better get some circle juke moves or something. He better do something. He better get some yak. He better do some
just
Derrick
to make it
Henry.
back to the line of scrimmage, man. It's bad. They used to have one of the best offensive lines. They were top 5 for many years. They just were a bad offense overall. But they had a top 5 offensive line. Now they don't have that. And they're a bad offense. So now both those things are in play, and they are just awful.
Awful.
It is awful to watch, awful to be a part of. It's so bad that they benched the guy they're now paying $24 million. to put him on the sidelines. Yo, that man's collecting so much money to do nothing.
Hey, I got another guy for you here. I got another guy for you.
Yeah.
Another guy where I picked him and he just stinks. And it's not Najee Harris.
It's always Najee Harris, even when it's not. That's a default setting.
Hey man, chill on Najee, man. He already got his
Najee
job.
Najee, as right now in the NFL, for fantasy purposes, is not it.
He better start looking for a second career pretty soon. Devin Singletary.
Yeah, that's a surprise one.
I think he's taking Damian Pierce's job.
Should.
I wouldn't be surprised. And I wanted to go out and get him, but I didn't, and somebody else beat me to him. And
what's funny is in one of our leagues, he was actually nobody picked him up the first round of waivers. He was on the second week of waivers last week. Yeah, it was last week's round of waivers. No, whenever he got popular. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago he had a really good game, and last week he had another good game. He was still on the waivers prior to of last week's matchup between before week 11.
He's been producing way more than what Damian Pierce has in his touches when healthy.
Yep.
And I think that is his job to lose now, even if Damian Pierce comes back.
And it's made the C.J. Stroud situation better because now they have a run game, and Stroud is not just
slinging it all over the place. Yeah. I think if Damian Pierce does come back this week, I think he.
People that are going to be hitting hard this week, Stroud.
I think that's a foregone conclusion at this point. That boy is out there studding it up.
I can give you another one.
Give me one.
Michael Pittman. They play Tampa Bay this week, and Tampa Bay does not have a good defense. They are not the Tom Brady Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are a new era of average. So
fair.
And they can get thrown on left and right, and Minshew is just good enough to get Pittman involved. Maybe not a touchdown, but I'm thinking 8 for 90, and that's kind of where Pittman's been, and I think that's where he'll land again.
That's fair. I actually think that Baker Mayfield and Gardner Minshew have a slugfest.
You think this is going to be the air-out game?
I absolutely think so.
Interesting. I can see it because neither defense is very good, but I wonder if any offense is good enough to make it exciting.
I think both of them have big play potential with Rashid White.
Josh Downs is back.
Rashid White.
He's been good out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor.
Chris Godwin's dealing with some injury though too, so it's not a lot of weapons out there.
Mike Evans is still Mike Evans, man.
Kate Otten, if you need a bye-week replacement, or just somebody for injuries because there's tight injuries, like Kate Otten might be one if Chris Godwin is struggling.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they're very. I think that's just gonna be a slugfest, man. Michael Pittman, Josh Downs. Mm-hmm. I do recommend starting Josh Downs, especially if you got people like Gabe Davis.
I agree. Question for you. Now, we're going back to the people who need to step up and show out this week, or we're going to kind of go into abandonment mode. Derrick Henry. Is this a make or break game for him?
I've been off the Derrick Henry train, honestly. I've been saying it all year. He doesn't look like the Derrick Henry of old. And when you don't look like the Derrick Henry of old, you don't look like a good football player.
Yeah. 663 for rushing yards. Kind of seems quietly good. You know?
663, but 663 and 4 touchdowns through week 12 is not that great.
It's not Derrick Henry that we know good, right? I agree with that. It's not the Derrick Henry that we've come to know and love over the last few seasons.
Now, if you're talking about 900 and 8 TDs, then we might be talking about something at this junction.
I'll have to see how many rushers actually have that currently, where the stat leaders are at for this season, because I'd be curious to see
Who's even
what's a
close to
good
that?
running back stat line for where we're at currently in the season. I'm looking it up right now. Research time. Everybody just hang out.
Oh, I thought I had it.
I'm pulling it up right now. So right now, Christian McCaffrey is at the highest at 939. But then like the next best for rushing is Raheem Mostert at 691. And I don't know if that's counting today's game or not, but that's where it's at right now.
And even at 691, he was hurt for a couple games.
Yep.
When Devon Achane took over for
but
2
then
games.
It's like DeAndre Swift and James Cook, they're all below Mostert, right? So ETN, so there's a wide gap. So where Derrick Henry's at 6 whatever, he's actually for your rushing yards at like 7.
Yeah, but that's not good enough for Derrick Henry, especially where you drafted him at in the second round.
Above him, James Cook, DeAndre Swift, the ETN and Pollard are the only 2 that are there that make sense. Everybody else where you drafted them, you're right. It doesn't. And Christian McCaffrey, obviously, the obvious one.
Pollard doesn't.
Yeah, he's barely above Henry. He's one that showed up this week, showed up last week. Like he's starting to find his way, and maybe the whole talking about promoting Dowdle was like a boost for him, because the moment he did that, they talked about starting Dowdle more, giving him more touches 2 weeks ago. Guess who's been better?
Lighten it up.
Yeah. So maybe that's a part of the and the offense has improved overall too. It looks like Zach Martin looks better than he has all season too. So that's another thing that may be helping that Pollard situation. But I agree with you. Where you drafted these guys, whether it's Pollard or Henry or Jacobs, all these guys are just like Saquon.
Saquon's not even in the top 7.
Not. And he's had some. Again, he was injured too, right?
Yeah, a couple games.
There is that factor for Saquon, but even when because of the state of the offense, it's just hard to trust whatever's going to happen. And I don't know if Tommy, Danny, whatever, DeVito, I don't know. But I don't know if he's going to be able to give the Saquon the love that he needs to be serviceable as a starting running back. So, receiving leaders. Oh, look at that.
Oh, God.
Tyreek.
Oh, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill.
What a surprise. And then
He only doing that because he got Tyreek Hill. If he didn't have Tyreek Hill, he'd be over there looking just like me. Oh, Lord, I got to play Tyreek again?
Yeah, that's true. I would not want to play Tyreek this season. He's on not Hall of Fame, a record-setting trajectory that he wants to also achieve because it's a personal goal for him to get that 2,000 yards. And he is trying, and it is surreal. He is playing through injury just to get this. I have not seen this type of Tyreek Hill where it's like wrist injury. Now I'm coming back. I'm putting up 80. I got an ankle injury. I don't care. I'm putting up 60 more just to make sure I get 100.
The dude is balling out of his mind, man. The dude is balling. What we've seen though from them, and when they play big teams, is they just get, bum rushed. Is that so much of the fact because they just force feed in Tyreek Hill, or is he just
Sometimes
that?
I wonder if they are. I wonder too, relies too much. I'm hoping the showing of Waddle for these last couple of weeks is some indication that they are going to spread it out. Because as much as I want Tua to have, or 2 or 3 names wrong because he gets the right the third time, Hill to have all the
Love
and points and attention. If that's all that they give, then they're just going to shade that way. And then what? Not that he can't probably run by
man, it don't matter, dude. This dude, I seen this dude take a slant.
Defenses, those are like, I think it was Buffalo was one, and there was one more where it was a decent defense, and he struggled a bit. Those were the lower, again, 10 points and 11 points. So for Tyreek Hill standard, that's terrible, right? You see it, he's double digits, and that might be good for Garrett Wilson, but that's not good for someone who's usually at 25 to 30 points a game.
That's fair. We die to get those 11 points sometimes.
That's true.
I got Garrett Wilson in another league, and I set him for Gus Edwards, and he had 17 today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But, again, I know garbage time counts, but I was not predicting it. As the game was going on, I'm like, you're never going to get even, 8 points out of this game. Lucky that touchdown happened towards the end of the game, some miraculous touchdown, and that was that was about it. So, man, what a good rant. What a good
Man. Hey, I want my dinner, man. I'm gonna I want
You got recovered now. You gotta see if you can redeem it on this last bet.
the Patriots.
I just have to. Bill Belichick looks lost. That's why. I don't know if you saw the clip of him last week where he's just as the interceptions are going up and the fumbles happen, he's just he literally goes like this, he's wants to cry because he's never seen something so bad in his entire life.
Man, my God,
it was so.
You know what the Patriot. I'm banking on the Patriots defense. I need to be worried about if Mac Jones is gonna underthrow somebody about 10 yards and throw it right to
You're
the.
betting on the defense do well, but I'm Mac Jones is bad.
Yeah.
And even if they're starting Zappy hasn't proven to be much better. If he does play better, it is a tiny iota. We're talking
Minuscule,
here, man. We're talking this
we're talking about your gaslight on and your thing touching and you still driving your car.
taking 4 sacks to taking 5 sacks. That's how little difference that is. So, and it's at home for the Giants. So that's why I'm bro, they're gonna no.
Hey, it's football, man. Anything's possible.
I'm just gonna take that dinner.
I want Canes.
Let's go to Canes for the next one.
Hey, you this is way off subject, but you don't have no good eatery by your house.
Yeah, you gotta go over to Arrowhead.
Yeah, dude, which is 15 minutes away.
I like you. I'm like you though. I like driving.
I mean, I don't mind driving. I was just kind of lost.
We're surprised a little bit. It's better, and we're getting the Rallies next to us.
If you get that Rallies
fries are fire.
I'll let you boy. Fries, okay. He's talking fries. He doesn't like fries.
And that is rare but their seasoned fries are fire.
They are.
Yeah, they're seasoned and they're delicious. So you get them extra crispy, and we're just.
Yeah. So we got to bet. You know what? I challenge you for the rest of the year. For the last, what is this? Week 12.
Yeah. So for fantasy season, we go into 17. Week 17. That's the last week. That's playoff finals.
Yeah.
Are you talking NFL season or fantasy?
Fantasy. Live bet each week.
We can do one. We can find one as we go through the games. As we see, kind of as we talk circumstances and scenarios, we can go through and say, okay, just like the defense scenario, hey man, we'll throw down on this one. This one looks like a good one.
Okay. All right, just real quick. Let me just see something that's really quick. I got some rapid fire for you this week. George Pickens or Jamar Chase?
Wow, that's a deep one. With a new OC, I know they're going to be learning a new offense over there because they fired their other offensive coordinator. The Steelers did. I'm actually going to go Pickens. I think they're going to do more to get him involved, getting him running shorter routes so he's not just running downfield. Let him do run after the catch. So I'm going to go Pickens.
Does Calvin really have another game like last week?
Yes. Not 2 touchdowns. It's going to be 100 yards and 9 catches. Maybe. I'll put the score as a maybe. That's kind of hard to predict, but 9 for 100.
Ooh. Does he outball Nico Collins?
Yeah, but not Tank Dell.
Okay, that's why I went Nico Collins. I knew that answer. Okay. Mike Evans or Michael Pittman?
Well, that's a harder one. Because Mike Evans isn't getting the yards, but he's getting the touchdowns. And Pittman gets the yards, but no touchdowns.
Better yet, who has a better game, Michael Pittman or Josh Downs?
I want to stick on your first one before I get distracted. Because I have a question for you: is PPR, non-PPR?
PPR.
That makes a huge difference.
Hey, we gotta cut that standard. Okay. I think we gotta cut our standard league next year. Not cut it, but change it to PPR. I hate standard scoring.
But I like it because it's different. I have so many PPR. Everything is PPR. I want to do something different.
The scores be so doo-doo.
It's not about... See, you're the new NFL. You want flashy. You don't want people to play defense. You want these nice hits. I'm the old NFL. I want people to get smoked. I want people to get destroyed out here. You know what I'm saying?
I do want those old. I do want that defense though.
You want people to come and do this.
No. Personal foul. Yeah, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Unnecessary roughness.
Stay away from football. Not even go close.
Adam Thielen or DeAndre Hopkins?
Thielen, actually. I think both teams are terrible, but Thielen is the only apple in Bryce Young's eye. I think that's why.
Are the Carolina Panthers getting their second win versus the Tennessee Titans?
Tennessee's at home, right? No.
I should have asked you Bryce Young or Will Levis.
Well, it's funny. So this is going to be controversial to my last answer, but Will Levis. Because I think he can get the ball out to more talented people. Plus, Derrick Henry does sometimes catch patches and screen passes and stuff like that. I think he has more talent around him to be able to do better at overall. But the person who's going to get the more looks, because of that same theory, is going to be Adam Thielen because he is the only one. It's Thielen or nobody.
Who wins, Rams or Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Okay.
I think Kyler Murray kind of gets it together. Trey McBride's coming along nicely. They need to get Marquise Brown. This is another one that goes to like, I need to see it from you, Marquise Brown, because he was supposed to be the number one this year after DeAndre Hopkins left, and we have not seen any number one life from him. So, but Kyler Murray and the Cardinals take it.
This is a big game for both these guys. The Browns or the Broncos? Who do you got now?
Broncos. Rookie quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson starting, so there's no way. I picked up the Denver defense because I am expecting just a smoke show. They're just going to swarm him, and they've turned it on against good teams these last few weeks. If they can do that against good teams, there is no way that Thompson-Robinson is going to survive.
And that Browns defense is no slouch either, though.
Yeah, but they're not the offensive line blocking for their quarterback. So.
All right. Chiefs, Raiders. Who makes the most mistakes?
The Chiefs wide receivers.
That's fair. So you going with the Raiders in this one?
Gosh, no. Even though they're going to make more mistakes because of drops, the Raiders are just not going to do anything, period. They're not even going to be in a position to make mistakes. Like, they don't make mistakes if they're just bad. Like, that's their MO. So, are you making mistakes, or are you just... Is that who you are now? Are you just one gigantic dumpster fire of failure?
Hey, this is a big game right here. Tell me what happens in this game. I'm not going to ask either or this or that, but what do you want to see? What happens? Bills, Eagles.
You know what? Because I like Stephon Diggs' talent, but his that crybaby stuff with his brother makes me just want them to lose the rest of the season. The Bills. So, Eagles. Dominate. That's what I want to see. I want them just to lose out. Sorry, Josh Allen. I like you. But you just need to lose out, man. And then let the season end. And that way Stephon Diggs can go off somewhere and cry about how bad that quarterback is.
I I would like to see Josh Allen not hold the ball and make some decent plays. He's hold the ball too much, but I mean it's gonna be a good game. I got the Eagles winning it.
I need to see
I
Devontae Smith put up 99 and a touchdown.
I was just about to say I think AJ Brown bounces back from last week.
I don't know. I think they did pretty good against number one, but maybe I'm tripping. The Bills defense against number one receivers. So I feel like it'll be a Devontae game. I feel like a lot of teams have been focusing on AJ Brown because he's been cooking so much last game, and so that opens up Devontae to be the guy.
You said this one earlier. Ravens Chargers. You said you think it's gonna be a slugfest.
I think it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be a throw.
I think it's gonna be time of possession. Ravens running that thing all over. I started Gus the Bus. So
I agree with that. I agree with that because they get to the goal line, the Ravens do, right? And they just don't throw it at the goal line. They will run it in at the goal line. I don't care if we're first and goal. We're going all four downs, and they're all going to be run plays. And that's what until somebody gets in the end zone. That's what we're going to do.
they gonna run that thing from the 10-yard line in.
Yep, exactly. They're going to run it all day. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that the Chargers are going to have to go in a throw fest, and that's why. No matter what, the volume will be there. There'll be a lot of miss. There'll be like 29 for 44 and like 300 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns, but it's going to have to be a throw fest because it's the only way to compete. Because their defense, quote, on paper, that's supposed to be really good, is not.
Bears Vikings. Let me start.
Yeah, ask your own question. You answer it. I'm answering all. No, you take your own question.
Justin Fields has been better than
He's actually pretty good last game against last week against Lions. Surprisingly,
he's been better.
Mistakes at the end of the game though, just like normal.
Yeah, and you know what? He didn't stink the whole game, and that's what I can say.
This was closing time. Like he needs to listen to Semisonic, listen to the song closing time, learn how to do it properly.
I'm gonna give him a little bit of flowers, man. Like he's shown me after those first, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. He was just trash. You know, I had him as the 32nd best quarterback in the league. Now he's down to like 22 or something like that, man. Like he's been playing all right, man, since he's been back. And even before he got hurt, he had those two really good games before he got hurt. Missed a couple, and then he's had 2 really good games being back. So
he's actually been pretty good coming out of the gate from the injury, which is, again, I like Fields, but still shocking even to me to come out from injury and still be in good timing, especially with your number one receiver.
Although I think Josh
more way underrated. Give him to the Chiefs, and he's going for the record.
Yeah. Yeah, DJ Moore is something special, man. I like DJ Moore. Yeah. However, I do think that the Minnesota Vikings pull that one out, and I think that Joshua Dobbs has himself a game.
Yeah. Fourth week. Is it 4th week now into the system or 3rd week in the system?
4th. He's won 2, lost 1.
Yeah, at this juncture, he should be like decent enough versed in the offense to be able to like really control not control stuff at the line, but have a better understanding to control some of the outcomes in some of these plays, timing and stuff like that, cadence with receivers, rapport, all that stuff. I think that, and I think Ty Chandler helps too. Him just being a good pass catcher out of the backfield that can catch and then just run and give him a security blanket. I do think that they can put up good numbers and that, yeah, it will for sure be the Vikings. Not for sure. Yeah, for sure be the Vikings win. You know what? I'm good with that.
That was some rapid fire for me. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in with us.
Appreciate y'all. Till next time, everyone. Rock with us. Oh, Legendary Sports podcast on the Insta. So make sure you check it out. Follow us. Do all that good stuff. Yeah.
Peace.